have to be honest with you, internet friends. It has been a very difficult week for me this week. I have been facing the inevitability of a breakup. Since I'm going on a year-long trip, obviously that makes staying in a relationship pretty difficult. And I've known it's gonna happen, but now I am, processing all the feelings and everything like that. And then yesterday, my grandmother died. And we knew it was coming, of course. She was 89 years old, a wonderful woman. She had a great life. She always talked about how fantastic it was. She raised 4 kids. She was a Marine Corps wife for 30-something years. My grandfather was a colonel, and he is still alive. He's currently they were both dealing with dementia, and they're both ready to leave this plane of existence, I think. And so it's bittersweet. She was wonderful. I grew up in the same town as my grandparents, so I was very fortunate. She would take all of the grandkids and have them do crafts, and we would go into their giant garden and pick vegetables, and they lived out in the country, and it was always wonderful to visit. And then when I was a teenager on up, they lived next door to my parents, so I spent a lot of time over at their house, and she had a very big impact on my life, and was just a wonderful woman who always looked on the positive side, and I will never forget her. And I'm happy that she's in a better place. I really do think she is. I think life was getting very difficult for them, and so it's good. It's bittersweet. It's a happy kind of sadness, I guess. And I'm about to leave on this amazing, life-changing year-long trip that I know is going to bring about all these wonderful changes in my life and change me as a person a bit. But I also know that it is going to be lonely, and it's going to have difficult times. And just the last couple of days and knowing that I'm about to leave on this trip just made me very depressed. And I spent the last couple of days just sort of laying in bed and crying and being sad, and I read a little bit and watched a little bit of TV, slept a ton, and I have to say one of the best things I did was playing some piano. That made me feel a little bit better, gave me some focus, gave me something to do, made me a little bit productive at least. And I know that on this trip there's going to be days and weeks where I just feel kind of crappy, and I just want to share this with you because I think it's important to acknowledge your feelings and to have them and not try to push them aside. And I think the last couple of days were good for me overall. I think I spent a lot of time reflecting and I made an effort to not feel guilty for putting aside everything else that I've been working on. I've been trying to be so productive and create content and spend time focusing on my business and spend time focusing on planning my travel, and I just forgot all about it for a couple of days and allowed myself to be sad. And I just want to remind everybody out there that sometimes it is okay to just feel crappy. Cry, sleep, watch TV, dwell on things, just do whatever you need to do to acknowledge those feelings, because I actually think it helps them go away faster when you take the time to feel them. And when those feelings start to subside, you can slowly get back into your routine, get up, shower. I didn't really get out of bed yesterday at all. I got up and ate a little bit, but I didn't shower or anything. So today, just getting up and showering, I got up at a reasonable hour. I went for a walk with my mother, and then I decided to drive the 40 minutes to this quaint little town called Mount Dora, nearby where my folks live, and walked around. I've chatted with some people. It's kind of nice because this whole setup that I have gets attention. So people will say, oh, that's really cool, or what are you doing? Are you a filmmaker? Do you work for the local news? I've been asked. And that has gotten me back into life a little bit. I still feel a bit blah, but I know that, nothing's over, and I'm not going to feel this way forever. Just getting yourself back out there and trying to get back into things a little bit slowly just helps with this whole process of grieving and feeling despondent and depressed. I also think that having some kind of hobby, for me that's the piano, really gives you something that makes you feel a little productive. It doesn't take a ton of brain power, so when you're feeling really crappy, you don't really want to sit there and try to write or solve the world's problems, but being able to focus, and piano takes dexterity, so trying to figure out which keys to hit and all of that, it takes your mind off of things for a little bit, and also helps you feel like, I just spent an hour yesterday, that's probably the only productive thing I did all day, but that allowed me to step away from all of the negative feelings I was having for a moment, and gives you a little bit of an escape. So I think it's important that you have something like that to help you cope. So like I said, it's been a difficult week, but I'm slowly starting to feel ready to look forward to my trip again. It's time to start focusing on packing and the little things, making more video content, and finding reasons to get excited again for everything. So I appreciate you sticking with me, and if you are dealing with any sort of difficulties this holiday season, I wish you the best, and I hope you can take the time to acknowledge your feelings and accept them and find ways to cope. And I hope you have someone that you can talk to and share your feelings with, who can help you to process them and feel better. And just remember that, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it is difficult, and that is completely okay. And it can take time, it can take a long time to feel better, but that's okay. That's part of being human and being alive and being the complex creatures that we are. So I just wanted to share all that with you and appreciate you sticking with me and supporting my channel. It's been fun for me so far, and I'm excited to share with you all the full range of emotions that I am sure this next year will bring. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope you stay tuned in 2018 as Christine travels around Europe. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your love and support.